The Barefoot Lawyer Reports is proud to announce the publication of a research paper from the Center for Human Rights. It addresses the subject of illegal policing and surveillance centers in America and foreign countries established by the Chinese Communist Party. To read this paper, go to catholic.edu/chr and go to our Research and Analyses page. Also, for a subtitled version of this week's podcast, please follow us on YouTube and Rumble at the Barefoot Lawyer Reports.
Welcome to another podcast of the Barefoot Lawyer Reports. I'm William Saunders, the director of the Center for Human Rights at the Catholic University of America. You can find our Center for Human Rights at catholic.edu/CHR for Center for Human Rights, catholic.edu/CHR. And as always on the Barefoot Lawyer podcast, almost always, we are joined by Chen Guangcheng, who is the Distinguished Fellow at the Center. Hello, Guangcheng.
Hi, Bill. Yeah. Hello, everyone. I'm glad to see you on the air again.
So we have a special guest on this podcast, and I'm going to let Guangcheng introduce him to the listener.
Yeah. He is very famous. He is a sculptor. He did a lot of statues in the U.S. That in California closed the highway 15. We call it Freedom Park. If you want to understand the Communist Party, you can come to that Freedom Park to understand what happened in mainland China and here. So, he did a lot of human rights job, and even the Communist Party tried to use their thugs in the U.S. to give him trouble. So today I will let my good friend, his name is Weiming Chen, introduce more detail about this. Thank you, everyone.
So Weiming, welcome to the podcast. I'm sure many listeners know who you are, but some may not. You're a sculptor. Were you a sculptor in China before you came to the United States?
Yes, I was in China. I'm working as government sculpture department, for 4 years. After I immigrated to New Zealand, then around 12 or 13 years ago, I was immigrated again to America. I think America much bigger than I can do my, the sculpture park, America more important in the world for art, fine arts, political, democracy.
Well, we're glad to have you in America. Could you tell us why you left China?
But China not a free country. Everything I do sculpture, everything say China is very good. If I would like doing some criticize and social some things, I have get trouble. So also, in my studio also have some trouble. I'm not happy, so I immigrate.
Okay. Well, so I know that you have the sculpture park, like Guangcheng mentioned, and my understanding is it's a park of about 36 acres, and it's in the desert along Interstate 15. I guess in California before you get to Nevada. Is that right?
Yes, right. It's just beside the number 15 highway between Los Angeles to Las Vegas in the middle. So everybody, if you're driving from San Francisco, Los Angeles, and San Diego to Las Vegas, will be our sculpture park. Everything's just the work is for human rights and freedom and democracy.
Weiming, you may be surprised to know, but people at Catholic University know of your work because we have one of your pieces, one of your sculptors on Gao Zhisheng, who is, for the people who don't know, is considered kind of Mr. Human Rights. He is the great champion of human rights in China, but he was disappeared by the Chinese Communist Party 6 years ago. Unfortunately, for 6 years, we don't know where he is. We don't know what's happened to him. And the Center for Human Rights at Catholic University in Guangcheng have been trying to get the U.S. government to put pressure on the Chinese government and to work internationally to find out what's happened to Gao. Guangcheng, do you want to say anything about that?
I think, about Gao Zhisheng statue, that is very important. We set up in our law college. I think a lot of young people will know who is Gao Zhisheng and what's happening about him. And I talk a lot about this last month on the media to let the Western people understand that the Communist Party kidnapped him more than 6 years. No one knows where he is. And even, when I tried to support Gao Zhisheng, and our translator helped us to do something, subtitles, the Communist Party gave her a big pressure to stop her work for our human rights center. That proves the Communist Party know what's happening in the whole world. They know a lot of people stand up to support Gao Zhisheng. So the CCP know Gao Zhisheng is an influential person. Yeah. So the CCP, we should use different way to give the Communist Party big pressure to let the CCP tell the whole world where is Gao Zhisheng. What's happening about that? Gao Zhisheng never against Chinese law.
Okay, yes. Now the Gao Zhisheng is missing 6 years. His family is very about his life. So last year, we used over $7,100, for make this relief sculpture for Gao Zhisheng.
Yeah, we will have an event sometime this year to officially dedicate the statue or the sculpture, and perhaps you can be with us. We have done several podcasts about Gao, and we will do more about him because he is both a great man and also representative of all the human rights lawyers and human rights activists whom the CCP has mistreated or killed or put into jail. So, Weiming, I want to ask you now to tell us about what you have. How much of your sculpture park is filled? How many statues do you have? What are your statues about? What do you plan to do?
First important sculpture is remember Chairman Square, the master, and another one is CCP violence. Because why they say COVID-19, I say CCP violence, but unfortunately, 2 years ago, the Chinese spy was burned down the sculpture. And,
which one did it burn down? Which statue did it burn down?
CCP virus.
CCP virus?
Yeah, CCP virus.
So the CCP is like a virus that makes you sick, and better to get rid of it.
Yes, the CCP is the communist team. The virus is COVID-19. This is from
Yeah.
So also I have the head, half head is Xi Jinping, President Xi, so Chairman Xi, so they are very angry. But this is the truth. The leader, they organized for this COVID-19. So this is his trouble. He make trouble for work.
And they burned it?
They burned down. Chinese government say this is from American soldier. This is happening. I say no. This is from China Wuhan. So they are very angry. I say this word because I use my art. The sculpture say this is from CCP. So they burned down this sculpture. In the moment I was make the CCP balance second, so I have the new one in there. So now this is you steel. The first one is fiberglass, so now they can burn down.
You've been listening to part 1 of a Barefoot Lawyer Reports podcast featuring Chen Weiming. Join us next week to listen to part 2.